it doesn't really engender one wanting to be more so involved. I think that what you're saying is a really novel idea that I'm hearing for the first time today. I like it very much. I think I would feel much more represented. But my question to you is, what do you imagine would stand in the way of this? Who's invested to keep it the way it is?
Washington, the lobbyists.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
I know.
The travel industry.
Yeah, of course.
The hotels in
So
Washington.
when you're up against something like that, like I was just sharing earlier, I just seen Waiting for Superman, and like what is up against education being better for our children? And it's a huge stumbling block. And so my question is, how, you know, if for those of us that like this idea, that want to talk about it more, that want to you know, maybe get something moving in terms of who we associate with or where our voices go, how do you imagine kind of confronting or working with those that really want it to stay status quo?
Well, first of all, as you know, all of us know, whenever a new idea comes up, the initial reaction from most people, especially who have an axe to grind, is, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to do it. They laugh at it, they ridicule it, and they say it cannot work.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter understands perfectly that it can work, but other people are going to say no. The only way it changes is people, this is the first time I've actually sat down with strangers and talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way I know, is to start talking. It gets on the internet, there'll be websites, you know, and people will start talking about it. And the beauty of the internet these days is something, if it is reasonably good, gets spread around very, very quickly. It's not like when I was a kid, when you write a letter.
Mm-hmm. It goes viral.
You couldn't even call on the phone, it was so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
In my day, we'd have to write letters.
Mm-hmm.
It just starts talking, and if it's got a life of its own, it develops a life of its own. If it doesn't, it goes the other way.